Are genetics important in bodybuilding? Are genetics important in any sport? Today we're going to talk about that with my perspective and what I've seen over the years in bodybuilding as well as other sports.
Yeah, I'm so fly, look to my left, I see a spaceship.
Hey guys, welcome to Brown Boy Aesthetics. Today we're talking about genetics and its importance. So if you guys don't already know this, yes, genetics do matter a lot. Does that mean that you cannot have a body if you're not genetically gifted? No, it does not. But do genetics hold you back beyond a certain point? Yes, it does. Now, what I mean to see here is from a bodybuilding perspective, you see a lot of athletes who are natural, who aren't using steroids, who are not using ergogenic aids, and who look great. You see a lot of African American men who are literally just walking on the road who've never trained for shit and they've got a ton of muscle on their body. Then you always know this one odd guy who packs on muscle like that. You know, there are these few people, few anomalies in bodybuilding or in different sports, like Ronnie Coleman or Phil Heath or Jay Cutler. These guys were not normal. They packed on a lot of muscle mass over a very short period of time. Yes, they're probably enhanced athletes, but there are a lot of natural athletes as well who do phenomenally well in different sports. Even natural bodybuilding, there are some guys who really react well to weight training, who really react well to training right, eating right, and they just respond much faster. Now, genetics play a role at every level. You know, if you're a guy, you always have that one friend who's got a six pack all the time, who never gets fat, no matter what he eats, who trains okay. You feel like you work harder than him, and he's still got a little more muscle than you. He's got a tinier waist, he's got broader shoulders, he's got a better V taper, but you still work harder. Now that is basically what genetics is all about, and it's not only about bodybuilding; it's about any sport. Let's talk about basketball. I used to play basketball as well. I'm pretty short. Most of the average basketball players are 6 foot 6 inches and taller. So would a guy like me, or let's talk about a guy who's 5 foot, who's exactly 5 foot or 5 foot 1 inch tall, and he wants to basically play basketball at a professional level at NBA. Is it possible? You know those few random people who turn up, very few, but are his genetics going against him? Is it tough for him? Definitely. The chances that he is going to be a professional NBA player is very, very low. And I'm sure everyone agrees with this. A lot of people are going to comment and say that, Maxi, I forgot his name. There are a few guys, like Nate Robinson is just 5'9" and he's playing in the NBA. But how many guys do we know on average who are under 6 foot? So while keeping that in mind, a short guy is not primed for playing basketball or playing basketball professionally at the NBA level. Similarly, there are some guys who are really good sprinters, some people who are just really good at football, some people who are great boxers, some people who are extremely strong naturally and they just get stronger with time. Larry Wheels. Larry Wheels is 21 years old and his lifts are phenomenal. There's this guy, Tyrone Beckham. I don't know if you guys have seen his YouTube videos. He is a freak and he is a genetic freak. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say these people are using steroids, these people are using drugs, a lot of athletes do use them. The person you are sitting behind the laptop or computer or your phone watching this video, you can take probably every drug in the world and you will never look like Ronnie Coleman or Phil Heath if your genetics don't allow you to. So that is the cold, bitter truth, and that's something you guys need to have the maturity to understand. But does that mean you can't improve? Definitely not. Does that mean you know your genetic potential? Again, you probably don't. I'm sure Phil Heath did not know that he's going to be Phil Heath when he was 16 years old. He's put in that work and he realized what his genetic potential was with time. So maybe just now you aren't at your genetic potential, but you can just get better with time. So always aspire to be better, always aim to be a better athlete, a better bodybuilder, a better sprinter, a better swimmer. Work really hard. There is a very good chance, and I do believe this because I was told that I will never have big legs, and I was brown, and I went to one of the biggest coaches in the world, and I told him I want to compete in men's physique and move towards what is now classic physique. Back then I wanted to do WBF, a fitness model, and I told him, I sent him some pictures of mine, and I told him I'm really passionate about the sport, and what can he do, how can he help me out, and basically what he told me in very crude words were that you're brown, you're not aesthetic, and you're not genetically meant for this sport. You won't make it. And that's actually how this brand Brown Boy Aesthetics came up, because I told him that, I felt bad. I felt a little upset. I felt like a little bit like, don't tell me that. Like, even if you think that I won't beat Philly, tell me that I can do something. And I actually took it on me. I'm like, fuck it, no matter what people say. And they told me this for my industry, for fitness, for bodybuilding, that this can't work or this won't work. I was like, no matter what they do, I will do my best to learn more about the sport, to learn what can I do to my best level. And then, a few years later, today, people tell me that, hey, your legs are great and you have genetically very strong legs, or you're a very good bodybuilder. Whereas it's actually more about understanding how the muscle worked, putting in that work, putting in those hours day after day, dieting, working really hard towards being the best version of myself. But had you seen me when I was 18 or 17 or 19 also, you would have said, this guy can't make it. But if that stopped me back then, I would not have made the body that I made. Again, I'm not saying I'm going to beat Phil Heath. I don't even aim to beat Phil Heath. That's not my aim. But do you think I can beat Phil Heath? Definitely not. The biggest thing in bodybuilding, one more thing I want you guys to really understand is, bodybuilding is not only response to weights, weightlifting and food. At that level, it's also response to drugs. A lot of these people do not get side effects. And a lot of professional athletes I know whose blood work comes really clean. That means they can push a lot more steroids than other people. Now a lot of people won't understand what I'm trying to say here. To simplify it, a lot of people will drink alcohol and their livers are going to be completely fine. A lot of people will drink alcohol and their liver values will go for a 6. Similarly, when you use drugs, why I tell people, I'm not really against using steroids or drugs. It's your life, do what you want. What I'm all about is doing it in a more educated way. So if you're taking a certain steroid and it's affecting you negatively, you need to know how it's affecting you negatively and what you can do to prevent it, or how you should not use that steroid or that drug because it's not suiting your body. A lot of professional athletes who really make it to the top, they don't respond negatively to drugs like normal people, and the response to normal drugs, that means the amount of size they gain on one steroid cycle is so much more than people around them. Okay, basically, if you do not have good genetics, chances are very low that you will beat Phil Heath. Chances are very low that you're going to be Ronnie Coleman. But that doesn't mean you stop working hard. You still become the best version of yourself. And again, at the end of the day, if bodybuilding is what you love and that's where you really want to thrive, that's where you want your career to be, don't give me the excuse of genetics, because someone told me once that I can't do it and I didn't pay heed to it. I just did my best, and today I have a decent career in the fitness industry. So if this is what you love and this is what you love doing, it doesn't mean it's the end of you. You can keep working hard. Even Lane Norton, he talks about how he's genetically not the best bodybuilder, but he has provided so much value to so many people in the fitness industry. So you can always make a career around what you love. You can always be better than where you are today. Regardless of not being a Phil Heath or not being a Ronnie Coleman or not being a Usain Bolt or whatever sport it is you do or play, you can still be way better than where you are. And for that, you need to work really hard, get your nutrition on track, get your training on track, and push your body to the limit. Learn more about it, get your best version out, and I promise you guys, you will get somewhere. Now, the question for those of you who are asking about bodybuilding, about beating Phil Heath, I don't know the answer to it. I do believe that genetics play a huge role, but please don't use it as an excuse. Keep working hard, because I meet so many people who tell me that I can't lose this fat around my stomach because I'm genetically like this. And some people tell me I'm Gujarati or Sindhi and my genetics don't support me for bodybuilding. But 3 months of working with me or 3 months down the line, I see them change. They pack on muscle, they lose fat, whatever it is they do, but they change because they get the right guidance and they are ready to commit. They're ready to be consistent. They are ready to push themselves to that level. So don't use that excuse. Give it your best. Does it matter? Yes, it does. A Usain Bolt is still a Usain Bolt. There is a gift, but always work towards it. Work towards building your best. That's all for this video, guys. I hope it gives you guys some clarity regarding genetics, genes. The one thing I want to make really clear is that I do not want you guys to stop working hard. You need to give it your everything. If this is a sport you love, or any sport you love, or anything you love, you need to give it your all. Gifts, no gifts, genetics, no genetics, none of that will matter at the end of the day. Alright guys, talk to you guys very soon.